Hello, it's Kadisha. I'm back with another video. Oh, I'm coming to y'all so comfortable. I'm lying on my couch. But I want to talk about the integrity and honesty that we all should have, and I think that we've lost. And when you often tell a story about yourself, people be like, "Oh, you bragging" or something. But of course, I can only talk about what I've experienced, so what I've seen other people do, or about myself. And I just thought, I don't know, this memory popped in my head and it made me just think, like, man, like, Lord, because this is not something that we can do on our own. This is something that is totally the Holy Spirit, because we as people, we want to be evil. We want to be like me, me, me. We want it all to be about us. We want, whatever is best for us. That's what we want. We don't want to be helpful. That's not something we want to do. It's the Holy Spirit in us that draws us to do these things. So yeah, I can remember when I went to a bank one time. I went to the bank with a friend, and we went through the drive-through. We went through the teller, and I'm gonna guess I withdraw money. Yeah, I had to withdraw money because I don't think I cashed a check. Well, I could have cashed a check, but anyway, the teller gave me money, and I counted it, which of course you should, but oftentimes we just trust like, oh yeah, they did fine. Or we could think like, we never think like, oh, they could give me too much money or they could give me too little money. So it is best to always count your money. That's just more of a story. Not really more of a story, but that's one point. But I counted it and I was like, they gave me too much money. We had already left. Oh, I ain't burning up none today. That's the my timer. Like, I ain't burning up none today. So yeah, so we went and I was like, oh, they gave me too much money. And the person was like, that's a blessing. And I'm like, no, that's not a blessing. Like, we have to go back. And they were like, no, you need to keep that money. And I'm like, no, because that person is going to get in trouble because like you have a certain amount. It's just like, because I worked at retail. So not retail. I did work at retail, but I worked at McDonald's, and they had to count your drawer. And so if your drawer is, if it's cents or whatever, is fine. But a whole $10 is missing from your drawer. That may have been fine too. I can't remember, but it's just like they're about to be eyeing you. And so at a bank, I'm sure it's way more strict than a McDonald's. So I was like, no, we have to go back and tell them like, no, you gave me too much money. And not to say this person was a bad person, because it's just like they was like, it's a blessing. They mistake, hey, whatever. But I don't think it was a blessing, because a blessing is like, if I'm walking down the street, nobody is in a radius for me, and I see $100 on the ground, which I've not $100, but I found money on the ground before, and not a penny either. But I found dollar bills on the ground, and it's just like nobody's around me. So yeah, that is a blessing. I'm like, yeah, Lord, I will take this. But if someone drops money in front of me, that's not my money. Or if someone gives me extra money at a cashier or at a bank, like, that's not a blessing. That's a mistake. And it's up to me to be the bigger person to say, or to have honesty and say, okay, no, this is not right. Let me give this back, because I want what's mine. I don't want what somebody else's. And we have to think about that when those things happen, because it's so easy, especially if you're in a hard time. And we're talking about finances right now. It's so easy to say, oh yeah, this is a blessing because Lord know I'm having a hard time. So yeah, that person gave me that extra money, their loss and my gain. But you have to think about, what if that was you, because we're all human. We're susceptible. I think I'll be making up words. We're all able to make a mistake. So you have to think, like, what if you were that teller and you accidentally gave out more money? Would you want the person to have honesty to give it back? And of course, we were like, yeah. Or some people might say, no, that's my fault. And it's just like, you're saying that because you're not in that position. And it's so easy to say when you're not in a position. But I was able to actually be in the position to receive more than what I was supposed to. And the Lord would not allow me to rest until, I go back. I'm like, no, we got to go back. And so we went back, and the lady was very thankful. She's like, thank you, so much, because it makes her look untrustworthy. Because it ultimately they think like she didn't give out extra money, she stole money. But of course they have cameras, so I guess they would probably, kind of just go back and watch. But yeah, so I just want us to be honest and to not take those things as if, take it lightly when things like that happen, because like that other person, they're like, oh, that's a blessing, that's a blessing. And we can also have that mindset if we're not careful, like, oh yeah, it's a blessing because Lord, no, I needed that. And it's just like, no, it's not. We have to be honest always and not take something that is not ours, even if it's given to you, because basically I guess that was kind of given. But yeah, I just wanted to share my story, and you may have something similar that you've gone through, or somebody else has gone through. But we have to turn this world around. Like I always say, we oftentimes talk about how bad the world is, but